John Razimus here with the John Razimus channel. Mysterialis is our main show right now, ghost investigation, but we can always branch off into other places of investigation. Hoax Hunter could always come back at any time. I'm not relinquishing my show, Hoax Hunter. Many people said, hey, Hoax Hunter, I kind of like that name. I'm just going to take it. Just going to take it from this tiny YouTube channel no one's ever heard of. I'm just going to take it. It's mine. We're talking a comic book, a band, and my name, John Razimus. People are like, Razimus? You know what? I like that. I'm going to take that. That's mine. So, no matter what I make, no matter what I do, people take. Never give credit. Never say, oh, this is an homage. This is out of respect. We're inspired by you. Never. But let's forget about that. Let's focus on Mysterialis investigation coming soon. I'd like to see you try to steal Mysterialis from me. It's not going to happen. Here's Mysterialis, the t-shirt. And Ghost Investigations, I'm going next week. To begin, I just got this flashlight just the other day. I've never used it. Let's see if it works. It works. Okay, this, I'm glad it works. It's pretty bright. Whew. Works pretty good. So, it's a night vision, infrared flashlight. Only works in the pitchness of blackness. It's not visible to the human eye. But I happen to have my night vision camera. And I got a second night vision camera. Technically, I have a third night vision camera. I have that GoPro knockoff, which does have a night vision ability. That GoPro knockoff died last time I was at the 1820s Pirate House. I haven't released the Pirate House footage because I wanted to make it like a documentary style. You'll see if anything happens or not. I'm hoping for the best, but at the same time, I understand investigating spirits. For those that don't believe, they're like, of course you didn't find anything that time. Haha, you'll never find anything. Well, that's not the case. I've already found evidence. I already have voices on a recorder. Now, I suppose that would have to be your recorder, and you would have to open them sealed and go with me to prove to yourself that it's real. But that's what I did. I opened up some brand new recorders out of the packages, put some Duracell batteries in there, hooked up a lapel mic I got from Amazon.blamazon, walked around, pressed record, listened to it later, voices on it. You can do it yourself. I don't necessarily recommend it. Maybe I'll have more disclaimers on my ghost investigations because it's something I'm going to eventually stop and give up and say, this is the last one. Short of being greatly supported, like, hey, you know what, we love your investigation style. Instead of ripping you off, we want you to be on the show, or we want you to this or that, here or there. I might break off into the realm of simply writing books on the subject. As far as my investigation, next week, it begins next week, but it continues. I'm writing 2 booklets. Thank you for reminding me, people who keep me on my own, remembering my own promises. Mysterialis, from day one, was always about the corners of rooms, investigation, and it's branching off into, can we prove spirits exist investigation? Yes, we can. As to their nature, who is it? Anyone who tells you, oh, this is this spirit, and this is what they did in their life, and they were here because of X, Y, and Z, and that's why they're still here, the case is solved. I mean, obviously that person died there, they're a big fan of hanging out there, so that's them. That's not the case. That's not how it works from my perspective. But then again, I can't prove it. You see what I'm saying? I can't prove it. So what I'm going to say, to be bluntly honest, nobody knows anything about any of these spirits, period, concerning the fact that that's their name and that's what they are. Wow, bugs are a little attracted. Even though this is minimal light, bugs are still going to be attracted to this. Someone who says, oh, that's George. That's the old ghost George. He used to live here. It totally destroys any evidence of ghosts being this George character when you can go to a billion other square inches on the planet Earth where a billion other people died and a billion other people's ghosts are nowhere to be seen. So it makes zero sense for George to be the only one hanging out here when 100 people died where George is hanging out in the same spot. But it's George, of course. It's just a bad example, but I think you get my gist. And I'm going to say, this is a ghost, this is a spirit, this is an entity in a slightly higher dimension. As far as the name, I would be a liar if I said I know for a fact it's this particular person. So the ghost adventures, ghost investigations, international and whatnot, they're all going to be hugely engrossed in a lot of beliefs, a lot of dogmas, if you will, a lot of superstitions, and they play off that, and they know people believe that. They know people buy that up and eat that up. That here's the history lesson, there's the history, therefore there's the ghost, and blah, blah, blah. In my opinion, a lot of these spirits, if not 100% of them actually, have nothing to do with the history of the location other than the history of the location can be a magnet for them. Just because the history of the location is a magnet for them, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean squat about the actual nature of the actual entity occupying the location. That being said, and as convoluted as that sounds, it all makes sense when you have an understanding of human spirits rise above into a super high dimension so high, they're not hanging out here. They don't have the mindset of caring about here. They're totally free of all the cares of this world. The only way you can be free of the cares of this world is if you're way up there so high that you're like, I'm good. This is meet me when you die. Dying is a very natural process. Everyone's going to go through it. It's not that scary when you really think you're not going to be alone. Everyone goes through the same thing. It's a tiny fraction of the existence of the universe is your lifespan. It's nothing. So I believe there are higher, or let's just put it this way, older entities. They see us like the life of a moth, the life of one of these bugs that have flown by. Do you mourn the loss? I mean, if you're the same species, most definitely. But if you're some type of ancient entity that sees the lifespan of these mortal humans, I have seen and heard references to us being referred to as insects. Perhaps that's how they see us. This is way out there, but I'm just announcing I'm going to investigate next week, starting next week. Now, I have like 5 investigations I haven't uploaded yet. I'm going to upload those as soon as possible. Maybe I'll make a sloppy version. Like, bam, there it is. From A to Z, very little voiceovers, very little cutaways, very little explanations. Just here's what happened. It either was a success or not. But when you're looking for data, is this place haunted on this particular day? Yes or no? There's the data. And many a times it's going to be no. Nothing happened, nothing unusual. But plenty of unusual things have happened. the local antique mall, I'm going back because with my tiny rinky-dink $10 EMF meter, I did have success in capturing both an EVP, possibly my first EVP. This is way back before I got my Mel meters. And in the corner with a chair, I had my EMF device on mute, and it made it sound like air. It made like a air, kind of like the frogs. It made just a air sound. There's frogs out here because it rained. And at first I thought it was the device. I thought it was the EMF meter making the noise, because the EMF levels, the electromagnetic field, spiked when it made the noise. And the light went off. It turned red. I didn't have my cell phone with me. And the locals say the chairs move on their own upstairs, and the people that work there have to rearrange the furniture because they're dragged into the aisles at night by themselves. I wish they had a security camera. I would definitely have a security camera if I ran that place. But I'm going back, and they advertise it as the haunted antique mall. I walked in there with my tiny device. I had it on mute so I wouldn't disturb the customers and the employees. They didn't seem to even notice I had it. So next time I'm going back with a Mel meter, I was holding my GoPro. That's how I filmed it, so I wouldn't trigger it with my cell phone. But I'm just going to go back with this camera and my Mel meter and try to capture something else. Cemeteries, I haven't had any extreme luck at cemeteries except for that huge spike, most definitely, on that video. Check out the Sacramento cemetery video, but it was just that one spike of like a vortex, or maybe it was some type of reverberation of a cell tower. I am going to show power lines and cell towers and how they react to the Mel meter as well. I have over $1,000 of ghost hunting equipment. I don't personally think anyone would go to this extent and length if they didn't believe spirits existed. $1,000 is a lot of money to me. I invested in this stuff. I haven't even paid it off yet. Some would say, that's dumb, you're stupid. And, to an extent, I would say it seems dumb in hindsight. But the fact is, I had to make that leap. I had to know with the best possible equipment, and I had to invest in this stuff. And in 6 months, I think this stuff will be paid off. It's not too big a deal. But your support is greatly appreciated. If you can get a Mysterialis t-shirt to support the channel, it would be appreciated. For you who have already gotten it, I'm very thankful from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much for the support. This is just over the top ranting, probably it sounds like. But I'm going to a lot of different places. Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch is actually not a stone's throw. I'm not going to give away too many of my locations, but it's definitely in the vicinity of the pirate house, the 1820s house. And so I'm going to stop by the gate. I've never gotten past the gate. I've probably visited Michael Jackson's gate maybe 4 times. Just stop by and looking at it or walking up to it. 4 times. And the last time was before he passed away. We're talking like 2 months before he passed away is the last time I was at his gate. And I saw an SUV there. And I know a real estate agent, and they told me how much he was selling for. And then rest in peace, he passed away. And of course the price went up many millions. And expensive place to maintain. The place had its own fire department. I don't know if that's required or if that's just something he wanted to have on hand, but it's kind of expensive to have your own fire department. That would be a dream location to investigate. I hope to see it on TV, the Ghost Guys, whatever show, because Neverland Ranch has been abandoned for a long time at this point. And ghosts, I'm going to write it in my How to Get Ghosts to Reveal Themselves to You booklets. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's so obvious, like you've heard it somewhere else. But abandoned houses are magnets for ghosts. Why is this? I think we have to not jump to any conclusions, and not assume it's any of the past residents. I think these entities who are older than humans, who are not dead humans, but they definitely know that humans are unaware of the other side. So they take advantage of the fact that humans don't know about the other side, and they pretend to be human ghosts. You can believe they're human ghosts all you want all day of the week, and that's fine. And perhaps in some rare cases that's the case, but in my personal belief, these entities pretend to be human ghosts to the point where they will memorize the lifespan of a human. And how can they possibly do that? How can they know the life A to Z of a human? Well, maybe if they followed that human from that human's birth to death, they would maybe have a little smidge of an idea. And some of these entities do follow humans from birth to death. They're called familiar spirits, not the fictional kind, but the historical kind, in the realm, in a world, in a different place when magic was real, and magic is real to a certain extent. I talked about the one spell that is real. A lot of people mocked me and made fun of me, but the fact is, I stand by that 100%. There's only one magic spell that works. Check out that video. I have over 300 videos on my channel. I understand if you can't see them or find them all. Search them. If I need to clean up the little categories, let me know so you can find them easier. New episodes of Mysterialis